All right, so SNL, huh? They really kicked off their 50th season with, how do I put this? A bang. A political bang. Talk about an anniversary present to the American people, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
We're diving deep into this USA Today article. By the way, you can find a link to the article in the show notes. And this article, it breaks down all those jabs from the season premiere.
And all the political jabs.
Exactly. All the political jabs. But we're not just going to sit here and rehash the jokes.
Yeah, no.
We're going deeper, right?
Yeah.
Like, why did they choose these targets? Why now? What does this whole thing tell us about the political landscape we're living in?
I mean, it's like classic SNL, right? You know, they've always been masters at holding up this kind of funhouse mirror to our political system.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But it's not just reflection, though. I think it's about, you know, maybe shaping perceptions, too, a little bit, right?
Sure.
And it seems like this time around, they really went after everyone.
No kidding. I mean, right out of the gate, Harris, Biden, Trump, it's like the trifecta of political satire right there.
Absolutely.
But they didn't stop there. They also went after Tim Walz from Minnesota,
Yeah.
JD Vance from Ohio. They even went after some politicians that I think a lot of people probably don't even know that well, which I find really interesting.
It really speaks to how, you know, SNL is trying to capture this, like, wider net of political anxieties, right? This is something that is in the air for everyone.
Right.
But let's go back to those big names for a second. That joke about Harris and her Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia bit,
Yeah.
I mean, comedic gold, right?
Oh, totally.
But also kind of spot on. Right. That's the thing, is like they're highlighting this whole I'm trying to please everyone vibe.
Right. Appeal to everyone.
Which, let's be honest, sometimes comes across as a little, shall we say, lacking a clear message.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And then you've got Emhoff joking about the Hanukkah decorations at the White House.
Yes.
Now, on the surface, you know, that's a lighthearted jab. But think about the implications of that. It kind of subtly points to the anxieties and, frankly, the excitement around the potential for a Jewish second gentleman.
Right.
It's history in the making, potentially.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about Biden.
Oh, no.
SNL going for the classic, you know, forgetting he's president bit. And, you know, it plays into these aging president narratives that have, honestly, it seems like been dogging him forever.
Since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time, basically.
But it does, whether you find it funny or not, it taps into a very real concern, or at least perception, among some voters. And then on the flip side, you have the Trump line about missing Biden, which is, you know, pure Trump in a way.
Totally. I mean,
Yeah.
right. Classic Trump. And I think what's interesting is, like, underneath the joke, it kind of reveals something about how he views his opponents.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's not about policy. It's not about governing. It's about the game. It's about the win,
Absolutely.
which, again, feeds into this very specific image a lot of people have of him.
Absolutely.
But, okay, here's where I think it really starts to get interesting, at least for me.
Okay. I like where this is going.
The article, it points out that SNL, they didn't just stick with these big names, like the top of the presidential ticket, you know.
Right.
They went after some other, shall we say, interesting political figures.
Interesting is a good word.
And I think this is huge. This is so important.
Okay, tell me why.
I think it really shows that SNL has their finger on the pulse of like a much broader political conversation.
I see. So they're not, like, afraid to kind of go outside of just the obvious.
Exactly. They're not playing it safe with the easy targets.
Yeah.
You know? Like, for example, that whole bit about Mark Robinson, the gubernatorial candidate.
Yeah.
This is the one with the, well, how do I put this? The alleged colorful, shall we say, colorful website posts.
Right.
I mean, talk about risky, right?
Yeah.
That's some next level political satire right there.
Yeah. But it's interesting, right? Because, you know, by highlighting something this potentially scandalous, they're kind of giving it even more oxygen. It does make you wonder, are they helping Robinson gain notoriety, even if it's for perhaps all the wrong reasons?
It's so true. It's like this weird double-edged sword. They're bringing it to light, but by bringing it to light, are they actually helping him in some weird way?
Exactly.
It's fascinating. And then on top of that, you have Jasmine Crockett.
Okay, yeah.
Who's actually a newer face in Congress.
Relatively newer.
Exactly, relatively newer. But she is getting the SNL treatment as well. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that signals that, you know, SNL is really trying to, like, stay ahead of the curve, right?
Right.
Like, they're spotlighting these kind of rising stars who might become bigger players in the future. They're not just tapping into what's happening now. They're looking at the future of American politics in a way.
Wow, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
They went after the media this time, too, which I don't think they always do.
They don't always do, no.
That whole bit about ABC News and David Muir being biased during the debates, it was hilarious, but it also kind of makes you think.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it taps into a feeling that a lot of people have, this kind of like low hum of anxiety that maybe the media isn't always as neutral as we think they should be.
It's true.
Right. So it does make you wonder, does this kind of humor make us more critical of the news we consume? Or does it just, feed into cynicism? It's a very fine line to walk, I think.
It really is. It makes me wonder, out of all these jokes, which ones are we still going to remember a month from now,
Yeah.
a year from now? Which ones are really going to have that staying power and potentially even influence how we view these figures in the long run?
I think that's the power of humor in a way, right? It cuts through all the noise and it sticks with us. I think SNL's choices about what they're satirizing, it reveals something about us. Like, it's revealing our collective anxieties, our hopes, even our hypocrisies, right?
Wow.
What they put on that stage, I think, speaks volumes about where we are as a society in this very strange moment in time.
That's a great point to end on.